and welcome back to this YouTube channel. So, welcome to this current affairs session of July 3rd, 2024. In today's lecture, we have to discuss 6 articles which would be related to your prelims and mains. So, I request you guys, please do stay with me. I would try to explain these things in very simple language, which would be very much informative for you guys and which would be very much helpful for you in cracking your exams. You know, without understanding the current affairs, your journey for any exam is not complete. So, the motto of these lectures is that whatever is important in our newspapers, that should be compiled in a very simple language, which is very much understandable to the students which who had just started, or to the aspirants overall. So my motto is to bring this information to you in a very simple language. और दूसरी बात, as you all know, the medium of these lectures would be most probably in Hindi. और जहाँ पे मुझे हिंदी करनी नहीं आएगी, मैं उस वक्त I would translate, I would speak in English. So, और एक बात, if you don't know that at the evening session we every day we had started the quiz session in which we discussed 10 to 15 questions. Few questions are related to the current affairs, so that it will give you the idea, it will help you recap the current affairs. Secondly, those questions would be based on the UPSC format. Who knows, when you cover these current affairs, maybe many questions would be asked from that itself. I mean to say, related to those questions, you may get the connection in UPSC exam. Or दूसरी बात, we already discussed the previous year questions here, so that it will give you the idea how you have to prepare in your exam. And without the knowledge of previous year questions, it is very hard for an aspirant to understand or to crack any exam. It gives you, when you know the previous year questions, you are able to eliminate many statements in the questions in your exam. So my request to you guys in simple words is that do stay with me, have patience, trust me. We would complete everything before your exam. At least we would discuss 3000 questions from the current affairs itself, and we would discuss every question which was asked since 10 to 15 years back. So stay with me. And the thing which what do I want from you guys, I just want your subscription. Please do subscribe this channel and share it with your friends. Maybe this will be helpful to you, or anybody who is preparing for any exam. Maybe these sessions would be helpful for them. So please do stay with me, do subscribe, and do like these sessions. Without wasting any time, let's move to our first topic, which is Bihar government moves to SC. अब हमें यहाँ पे डिस्कस करना है कि वाई डिड, मतलब कि बिहार गवर्नमेंट, व्हाट वाज द नीड फॉर द बिहार गवर्नमेंट टू मूव द एससी. डिफरेंट केसेस होते हैं. सो दिस इज नॉट द पॉइंट टू डिस्कस, बट व्हाट इज द पॉइंट विच वी नीड टू डिस्कस हियर इज वाई राइट नाउ दे हैड मूव टू एससी. अगर हमें पता होगा, फ्रॉम इन 2022 दे कंडक्टेड, उन्होंने एक कास्ट बेस्ड सेंसस कंडक्ट किया था, एंड इन 2023 दे पब्लिश्ड दैट. और उसके बिना पर, on that cost based census, they increased their quota of reservation from 50% to 65%. So this was very much alarming. मतलब कि it is not something which is which is accepted by law in India. Without, if there are some certain extreme conditions, then this quota could be increased. We have Indira Sahani judgment in 1992. It was clearly laid that that reservation shall be limited to the 50% only. If there are some extreme conditions, then it could be increased. But here what happened, that they published the cost based census, and they brought, at the same time they brought the bill in their assembly, and they passed that bill, which triggered many people, and they went to High Court, Patna High Court, and Patna High Court cautioned that bill and said that you cannot do it because you are violating the Supreme Court's judgment. With this फिर इसके बाद what did SC what did Bihar government did? They went to the SC, and now the case is in Supreme Court. So what are the points to remember here? We should know about, if you are the aspirant who had just started, you should know about Indira Sahani judgment, that the limit for the reservation was laid in it. And also we should know that what were the arguments given by the Patna High Court while they quashed this bill. Let us discuss about those arguments first. कोर्ट ने इनको क्या कहा कि मतलब कि दे आर वायलेटिंग, पहला जो उन्होंने मतलब कि फर्स्ट आर्गुमेंट दे गिव दैट यू आर वायलेटिंग द इंदिरा साहनी जजमेंट, यू आर वायलेटिंग द सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट. दूसरा आर्गुमेंट विच दे गिव कि उन्होंने बताया कि आपने पूरा सफिशिएंट डिस्कशन वाज नॉट डन, क्योंकि जो ही आपने व्हेन यू ब्रॉट दिस कास्ट बेस्ड सेंसस, और उसी वक्त आपने ये भी मतलब कि आपने उसी वक्त ये बिल इंट्रोड्यूस की थी. सो यू डिड नॉट डिस्कस विद द boards with all the criteria which you should keep in mind. For example, economically weaker section, you did not consult them or anybody else, or scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, you did not consult it. And और उन्होंने क्या कहा कि you should not give this मतलब कि जो आप रिजर्वेशन देते हो, it should not be automatic. आपको क्या देखना चाहिए? You have to check their economic conditions. On that basis, if you want to give this reservation, you should check their economic conditions, all that stuff, and on that basis you should give it. So these were few of the concerns which were raised by the Supreme High Court of Patna, and then the Bihar government went to the Supreme Court. So let's recap this article. There is nothing much difficult. If you would read the newspaper, it may seem very much reading newspapers are very time consuming. It would take you at least, if you are the beginner, it would take you 3 to 4 hours to understand them, to make notes of them. So what we are doing here, we are cracking the newspaper down in simple words. By watching these videos, you would understand the gist of those newspapers within 30 minutes. So this would be very much useful for you. And by our experience of seeing the last year question papers, we understand what part of the newspaper is important for you in preparing for your exams. I don't say you that don't read the newspapers, but what I'm trying to say you here is that you can trust me. If you are not reading the newspapers, that is fine, that is your choice. But if you would stay with me, trust me, it won't, by not reading the newspapers, it won't impact you much. If you are staying here and going for the monthly magazines, you are reading those stuff, it would help you in a very well. मतलब कि आपको फिर न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ने का उतना नुकसान नहीं होगा, ना पढ़ने का उतना नुकसान नहीं होगा. I'm not saying, I'm again repeating it, I'm not saying you don't read the newspapers. It is your wish, it is your will. But if you stay with me and read, understand this stuff what we discuss here very properly. Or दूसरी बात, and you are reading the monthly magazines, then it is fine. Then I can say that it won't give you much trouble in the exam if you are not reading the newspapers. So let's conclude this article in few words. First, इसमें हमने क्या सीखा? What did we learn from it? That Bihar High Court moved to the Supreme Court. Bihar government moved to the Supreme Court. What was the reason? Because they had introduced the bill which was giving 65% quota for reservation. And few people which got irritated by that, they went to the High Court, Patna High Court. Patna High Court cautioned this bill and said it is unconstitutional, and said it is against the Supreme Court judgment, which is Indira Sahani Supreme Court judgment, in which it is laid down that you can't exceed 50% limit if there are no extreme conditions. So based on that, this is the simple gist. These are the simple words which you need to understand about this article. Now let's move to the next topic, which is about the bad loan problems in India. So this is one of the very important topic, I would say one of the very important topics which we would discuss very often in our daily affairs. you know uh, I guess every month there are few articles related to that. So इधर प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि आरबीआई, पहले हम देखेंगे बैड लोन प्रॉब्लम क्या है इंडिया में, हाउ इट इज़। मतलब कि जब एक बैंक किसी को लोन देता है एंड दे आर नॉट एबल टू पे द interest or the principal amount, then within some certain time, listen, here we are not going to discuss every economic concept in it, but I would give the gist of it. Within some time, if the customer is not able to pay the loan, pay the interest amount or the principal amount, then the loan becomes the bad loan, and it is very much problematic for the economy. So, with this regard, we have to discuss bad loan problem in India, how it is, how does it work, and what are the changes which went through what are the changes, recent changes in it, what is the decadal, मतलब कि अगर हम देखेंगे एक decadal trend कैसे change हुआ, and now what are the trends going on in it. अगर हम देखेंगे RBI, they published the financial stability report in which they mentioned that the NPAs it has fallen to the decadal low. By NPAs, we should know that these are the non-performing assets, same as bad loan, very connected to it. So, if we would discuss someday economy in depth, we would discuss these things. So, right now, what do you need to know about this? Would मतलब कि वो आप अपने बुक से पढ़ोगे. Right now, we found the RBI published that the NPAs had fallen to the decadal low. मतलब कि नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट्स दे हैड फॉलन टू द डेकेडल लो. अब इससे क्या मतलब, इज इट गुड फॉर द कंट्री? मतलब कि अगर हम देखेंगे इट इज़ वेरी अट्रैक्टिव इफ नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट्स आर फॉलिंग, देन दैट इज़ वेरी गुड. बट द केस इज़ डिफरेंट. फ्रॉम मतलब कि जब 2007-8 में देयर वाज लेमैन क्राइसिस, लेमैन ब्रदर्स क्राइसिस, दैट लेड टू द फाइनेंशियल इंस्टेबिलिटी इन द वर्ल्ड. सो उसके बाद क्या हुआ, मतलब कि यूजुअली बिफोर 2015, आई वुड से बिफोर दैट टाइम द बैंक्स यूज्ड टू lend their maximum loans to the people, to the industrialists, to the industries, I would say, to the companies, so that जब वो लोन मतलब उनको देते थे, companies would help in building the economy. They would invest in buildings, they would invest in infrastructure which would lead us to the job creation. So that was very much beneficial for the country. But after the Lehman crisis or the financial crisis in 2007 2008, the there then came the then which मतलब कि उसकी वजह से क्या हुआ था, वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमी वाज शटर्ड. सो मतलब कि उसकी वजह से ये हुआ कि फिर बैंकिंग सिस्टम ने एक चीज़ अंडरस्टैंड की कि अगर हमें मतलब कि आरबीआई ने एक चीज़ अंडरस्टैंड की कि ऐसे क्या हो सकता है, देयर इज़ मोर रिस्क ऑफ द इकोनॉमिक फेलियर. तो उन्होंने कुछ चेंजेस लाए, दे ब्रॉट सम रिफॉर्म्स, मतलब कि इस लिहाज से कि हाउ दे शुड पे द लोन्स टू द industries or companies. So with this regard, what the banks did, they shifted their criteria, they shifted their importance. उन्होंने from industries they shifted to the retail borrowers. मतलब जब retail borrowers like we common people, वो अब उनको ज़्यादा लोन दे रहे हैं. मतलब कि जब वो उनको ज़्यादा लोन दे रहे, it has a default in it. अगर इकोनॉमिक इसमें एक प्रॉब्लम है कि अगर इकोनॉमी वर्क इज स्लोइंग डाउन, देन जो एक आम इंसान है, हिज बोरोइंग मतलब कि उसका स्पेंडिंग वुड बी स्लो डाउन, और दैट वुड लीड कि वो क्या लीड करेगा कि वो ज़्यादा खर्च नहीं करेगा, और he won't be able to pay the interest, or that would also lead to this problem. और दूसरी बात, अगर वो रिटेल बोरोवर्स को पे कर रहे हैं लोन, उसे एक फॉल्ट ये आता है कि दे आर नॉट एबल टू अगर वो रिटेल बोरोस को लोन पे कर रहे हैं, इफ दे आर पेइंग दिस लोन टू द रिटेल बोरोस, इट वोंट क्रिएट दैट मच जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज एज दे इट यूज टू डू इट, जो ये पहले चल रहा था. सो टू की और फेलियर्स इन रिटेल बोरो, इफ देयर इज non-performing assets in retail borrow, that is more problematic. So to have a check on it, we have two instruments. First is slippage and delinquency. In slippage, what they do, they from one year to the next year, how many NPAs are edit, they collab all those stuff and keep the record of it. And in delinquency, they focus on how long a customer has not paid the interest. So by this they keep the retail borrowers in check. दिस इज मतलब कि अगर हम इस आर्टिकल को एक सिंपल वर्ड्स में लाना चाहेंगे टू मेक इट मोर अंडरस्टैंडिंग मोर इजी फॉर यू गाइस, तो हम देखेंगे कि बैड लोन प्रॉब्लम इंडिया में क्या है। पहली बात जो इस आर्टिकल में मेंशन थी कि आरबीआई ने पब्लिश किया फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी रिपोर्ट। You know, a prelims question may be asked from it: who publishes the financial stability report, or who had published the financial stability report? We should know that. उसमें उन्होंने क्या कहा कि जो नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसिड्स है कंट्री के, दे हैड फॉलन टू ए डेकेड लो, मतलब कि पिछले 10 साल से सबसे ज़्यादा कम पे आए हैं। तो इट शुड बी a soothing thing for us, but it is not, क्योंकि अगर हम देखेंगे 2010 के बाद जो रिफॉर्म्स आरबीआई ने लाए, उसकी वजह से बैंक्स ने क्या किया, दे आर नॉट पेइंग लोन्स टू दी। देखो पहले जो ये थे मतलब कि नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट्स थे, दे वर दोज लोन्स व्हिच वर गिवन टू द कंपनीज, और कंपनीज क्या करते थे, दे गेट इट फॉर द कैपिटल बिल्डिंग, वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बिल्ड करते थे या कुछ। लेकिन फ्रॉम 2010 ऑनवर्ड्स और 2015 ऑनवर्ड्स, दे आर गिविंग दीज लोन्स टू whom, they are giving these loans to the retail customers. So अब मतलब इट इज़ वेरी अंडरस्टूड, अगर एनपीएस डाउन हो रहे हैं, सो अगर यूजुअली एनपीएस होने का चांसेस ज़्यादा किस में होता है, व्हेन यू पे टू द companies. But if they are coming down, it does not mean that you are paying to the companies and they are able to maintain it. But there is some different case that you are paying, you had changed the loan, you had changed your criteria, you are paying it to the retail borrowers. हाँ, उसमें there are little chances of NPAs, but that is also risky. So for that they had two instruments, which is slippage, in which they keep check on the retail borrowers, which is slippage. They in slippage, what they do, they get the year on year a quota of how many NPAs are there, and delinquency they keep check on how many times they are not able to pay the interest from one month to other month, or from the gap of months उन्होंने कितने months से interest नहीं pay किया है. So you keep check on that. I hope this article, I was able to make you understand this article. Now let's move to the next. Now the third important, and this is the most important thing which is going on in today's world, which is digital jurisprudence digital jurisprudence of generative AI. Here we have to discuss it with respect to India. मतलब कि इस जो आज का आर्टिकल था, it does not talk that much about what laws we have, or it says कि what should be there, मतलब हमें करना क्या चाहिए कि to control it, how we should look at the generative AI, मतलब इसको हम कैसे ले, is it the creator, should we take it as a creator or should we take it as an intermediary. अगर हम intermediary इसको लेंगे तो it should be on the level of, like we have Meta, we have other Twitter, we have all that X. So it would be created on that, it's मतलब इसकी position उस level पे दी जाएगी. And if anything is intermediated, then we have with regarding the Shreya Singhal case, which says they are protected from whatever is posted on them. We can't file cases against them because it is not, they are just intermediaries. So it is the one who is using it, मतलब कि अगर कोई चीज़ उस पर अपलोड की जाती है, दे आर जस्ट इंटरमीडिएटरीज एंड वी कांट टेक देम टू द कोर्ट कि फलानी चीज़ आप पे अपलोड हुई है तो हम आपके खिलाफ केस करेंगे, बट इट इज़ समवन एल्स हु इज़ अपलोडिंग दैट. So with regard to that, we have Shreya Singhal's case. Then how to use Copyright Act with respect to the generative AI. What then there are recommendations for sandbox हमें, and there should be a centralized data system with the authority that should control it. So अगर हम देखेंगे what generative AI is, it is simply we give the textual message to it, or we give the input and it gives us the output in the better way, in video, in audio, or anything else, or that is very much useful for us. Everybody here has used it in one way or the another way. For example, you have chat gpt, you give commands to that, you ask them questions and they answer it. So the question is how to regulate it, हमें कैसे इसको regulate करना चाहिए, whether we should give it the creator status or the intermediary status. So this is the question which would be answered by time. Or agar hum intermediary, as I already said, this is not that informative article, but it gives us the lots of questions which we have to answer, which the government has to answer. It questions the government how you are going to deal with this. Then we have creator status. It is whether we should give the generative AI the creator status or the intermediary status. If it is given the intermediary status, it would be at the level of Facebook, WhatsApp, or all that stuff. Then comes to its protection comes the Shreya Singhal case, which we have, that we cannot file cases against them. We can't drag them to the courts for uploading anything, because it is not them which are uploading, it is somebody else. It is the creator sitting behind the screen who is uploading them. So then how we are going to use the Copyrights Act for the information which we get from it, how to use that, because we had seen many cases where there are many things. For example, कोई tune हम बनाएंगे through AI, how would we have Copyrights Act for that? And there are many other things for the for example, we have deep fake, there are many fake informations in it. So this is how to regulate it. Then the author says that there should be the centralized data system within a single authority which should operate all that stuff, which should keep eye on that, and in this way it should be regulated. I hope this मतलब कि ये चीज़ आपको समझ में आई. It is not something technical, there was not something technical in it. बस ये कुछ चीज़ें points जो आपको याद रखनी है. This may be helpful for you in your exams. Now this other important topic, which is two vaccines which almost ended polio, which मतलब कि अगर हम देखें WHO का जो they had guidelines थे कि by 2024 we should eliminate the polio, but also we should know that in many African countries they had eliminated polio, but there are some cases still there. For example, in Pakistan, we found few children got polio. In Africa or somewhere else in the world. So with regards to that, we have two types of vaccines which has helped us in eliminating the polio. First one is inactivated polio virus, which is IPV virus. It was developed by John Salt, and another one is OPV, oral polio vaccine. It was developed by Albert Sabin. यूजुअली अगर हम इंडिया में देखा जाएगा, आपने देखा होगा ऑन टीवी स्क्रीन, 2 बूंद आपकी ज़िंदगी बचा सकते, दैट एड. सो दिस इज़ द ओरल पोलियो वैक्सीन वायरस. सो इसका एक इम्पैक्ट, ऑरल पोलियो वायरस का एक इम्पैक्ट है जब एक चाइल्ड वो लेता है, मतलब कि इसका एक बैड इम्पैक्ट रहा है जब एक चाइल्ड वो पोलियो वायरस लेता है एंड ही डिफिकेट्स, और वो वायरस उस मतलब डिफिकेशन के थ्रू, उस फीकल मैटर के थ्रू फिर स्प्रेड हो जाता है, क्योंकि जो इसमें वायरस है दैट इज़ नॉट मतलब कि इनएक्टिवेटेड और समथिंग, वो वीक वायरस रहता है एक मतलब इसमें. सो उसकी वजह से ये स्प्रेड हो रहा था. सो व्हाट वाज नीडेड कि बेटर नॉलेज होनी चाहिए कि हाउ टू कंट्रोल दिस वायरस, हाउ टू यूज इट. देयर शुड बी गुड मतलब लैट्रिन सिस्टम होना चाहिए, बाथरूम शुड बी देयर, एंड प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट कि हाउ टू यूज़ इट, मतलब कि बच्चों में कैसे यूज़ करें और कैसे हम सैनिटेशन का ख्याल रखें इन कंट्रोलिंग द पोलियो वायरस. सो इस आर्टिकल में हमने दो चीज़ें पढ़ी हुई है, IPV विच इज़ इनएक्टिवेटेड पोलियो वायरस एंड OPV विच इज़ oral polio virus. IPV was developed by John Salt and OPV was developed by Albert Sabin. And about OPV, it is mostly used is OPV. We had seen the ads about it on. If you remember your childhood, you remember that when our parents used to take us to the polio booth, where they would give us the polio drops. देन वी हैव दे विल फिर इसका एक इम्पैक्ट रहता है कि जब ये बच्चे को देते हैं दे डिफिकेट एंड बाय दैट फीकल मैटर इट वुड स्प्रेड टू द पीपल अराउंड इट. इफ अगर हम डिफिकेट करते हैं इन आउटसाइड योर बाथरूम्स. सो व्हाट वाज नीडेड कि हमें क्या करना चाहिए कि हमें मतलब देयर शुड बी प्रॉपर सैनिटेशन टू कंट्रोल इट. and we had almost ended this polio, but this was a little bit we should know about it. Forward, we have had the next topic. It is about Hindenburg versus सेबी. मतलब कि ये एक मतलब कि हम कहेंगे एक मतलब कि पोर्टफोलियो लड़ाई है सेबी और हिंडनबर्ग के बीच, जहां पे अगर हम इसका बैकग्राउंड देखेंगे, अगर आपको याद होगा लास्ट ईयर अडानी ग्रुप उसके बारे में जो हिंडनबर्ग है ये इट इज़ अमेरिकाज बेस्ड कंपनी, दे पब्लिश दैट कि मतलब कि जो अडानी के शेयर्स है दे आर नॉट ट्रस्ट वर्दी और समथिंग लाइक दैट। सो उसकी वजह से क्या हुआ था, अडानी शेयर्स गॉट डाउन। सो ऑन दैट बेसिस सेबी सेंड देम शो केस नोटिस कि यार तुम ये ऐसा नहीं कह सकते हो, इट इज़ नॉट समथिंग कि जो ये गलत कर रहे थे मतलब अडानी इसके मतलब कि यू आर सेबी ने इन पे इल्ज़ाम लगाया कि इन पे इल्ज़ाम लगाया कि यू आर वर्किंग विद अनदर कंपनी टू डिग्रेड द इंडियन इकोनॉमी, टू डिग्रेड द जो उसके शेयर्स थे अडानी के शेयर थे उनको कम करने के लिए आप ये सब दूसरी कंपनी के साथ वर्क कर रहे हो और उसके शेयर्स को कमज़ोर करना चाहते हो। बट उसके रिप्लाई में हमें एक चीज़ पता होना चाहिए, हेडनबर्ग इट डज नॉट हैव रिकॉग्नाइजेशन इन इंडिया, इट इज़ नॉट वर्किंग इन इंडिया। तो हेडनसबर्ग ने they said to the SEBI that you are also you have SEBI is tied itself आपने आप अडानी वर्कर्स के साथ अडानियों के साथ काम कर रहे हो, you are trying to help them, you are trying to trying to protect the influential businessman, so they are उन्होंने वापस जवाब दिया कि तुम ही गलत हो, तुम इन बिजनेसमैन को मतलब यू आर ट्राइंग टू protect the influential businessman in India. So this was a little story about it, or you should know that मतलब कि इस आर्टिकल का जस्ट क्या है, यू हैव टू रीड अबाउट द सेबी एंड आई एम श्योर दैट विद इन कमिंग आर्टिकल्स विच वी हैव टू डिस्कस वी वुड डेफिनेटली डिस्कस अबाउट सेबी मोर, how it is responsible in share markets and all that stuff, how what is its role, what does comes under its control. We would discuss all that in coming classes. I'm sure about it because the articles related to SEBI do often come in the exams or do often come in news analysis, and we have to discuss it in detail. Now moving forward to the last article, which is about the mixed signals. You know what is this mixed signal? It actually mixes two subjects in simple terms, I would say, the geography and the economy. It says that the अगर हम मतलब कि इसको सिंपल लफ्ज़ों में इस आर्टिकल को अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे, व्हाट डज इट से दैट कि जो हीट वेव का इम्पैक्ट है, डज इट इम्पैक्ट द इकोनॉमी ऑफ द कंट्री। अगर हम देखेंगे पहले index of 8 core industries was released for the May, and we saw that there is 6% increase in it. मतलब कि data for May was done and has increased by 6%. So ICI क्या 6% increase हुआ है. Now what is the impact of heat wave? What could be the impact of heat wave? Before understanding the impact of heat wave, we should know what is heat wave. Usually अगर heat wave को हम देखें अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे तो हम बताएंगे अगर 4 से 4.5 डिग्री टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज होगा एंड इट वुड स्टे फॉर 2 to 3 days, इट इज़ कॉल्ड एज हीट वेव। और अगर ज़्यादा हुआ दैट इज़ सुप्रीम हीट वेव। मतलब कि फिर हम इसका इम्पैक्ट देखेंगे, व्हाट इज़ द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ इट। अगर हीट वेव होगी तो इन सिंपल लफ्ज़ों में हम ये कहेंगे अगर ज़्यादा गर्मी होगी, there is heat wave in industries, laborers or manufacturing houses, so they can't work properly. It would have adverse impact on laborers, they would not be able to work. It would have adverse impact on agriculture, there would be water shortage, so it would definitely have bad impact on the economy of the country. So it does impact it does have very worse impact on the country's economy. So I guess I hope you understood all these articles. I had tried to make it very simple for you guys, make it very easy for you guys. So I hope you had understood it. And please, if you are still with me in the evening session, maybe around 9 or 10, I would upload the question, our quiz session, in which that quiz would help you to understand these topics in detail. and help you in recapping these topics. So do stay with me. So let's summarize what we had studied till now. पहला जो हमने पढ़ा, बिहार हाई कोर्ट went to the Bihar government went to the high court, Supreme Court, for what? Because they earlier they had brought the 65% quota reservation, but Patna High Court rejected it. And so with respect to that, they went to the Supreme Court. So इसमें क्या कहा था, पटना हाई कोर्ट ने कहा कि you are violating the Indira Sahni judgment, which is limiting the reservation to 50% without any extreme, if there is not any extreme condition. Then the second article which we studied about the bad loans, how NPAs had fallen down, but there is a trick in it. It is not because the changes which the RBI has brought, the banks are lending to the retail borrowers now rather than the capital formation, rather than to the companies. So this would directly impact the NPAs because जो retail borrowers, they are less prone to not paying their money as compared to the others, because जो retail होता है वो he's a common man, he is very much concerned about all this stuff, so कर्जे से डर लगता है. So they are often interested, मतलब उनका mentality है कि हमें ये भरना है, मतलब there are, अगर देखा जाएगा, there would be less chances of their loans to become bad loans as compared to those of the companies. और दूसरी बात जो इसका एक हिडन पॉइंट था कि अगर हम कंपनीज को लैंड करते तो दे मे हेल्प इन बिल्डिंग द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन में हेल्प करते. इफ वी गिव इट टू द रिटेल बोरोवर्स, सो इट वोंट इम्पैक्ट दैट मच इन कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन, उसका एक गलत इम्पैक्ट है. फिर इसमें हमने स्लिपेज एंड डिलिक्वेंसी को पढ़ा. देन उसके बाद वी डिस्कस्ड अबाउट द generative AI, how to control it, how to regulate it, what whether to call it a creator or intermediary. What are then Shreya Singhal case 2015, how it protected the intermediaries. Then we discussed in it there should be the centralized database system with authority. After that, we discussed about the Hindenburg refute SEBI, which is the Hindenburg's versus SEBI, their allegations on each other, and in that we understood that Hindenburg, it is the American-based company, and it had alleged that Adani's its statement had worse impact on Adani's shares last year, and with respect to that, SEBI sent the showcase notice to them, and to that response, to their response, they said that you are protecting the influential businessmen in India, as they are not operating in India itself, so SEBI has no jurisdictional control over them. Then after that, we discussed about the two vaccines which ended polio, which is inactivated polio virus, and OPV, which was oral polio virus, which was built by Albert Sabin, and IPV was developed by John Salt, and we saw the impact of oral polio virus and how it could, if it is not handled properly, it could lead to the spread of virus. Then we discussed a little bit about the mixed signals, about the 8 core industries. Their data for May was introduced, and we saw that there is 6% increase. And we saw the impact of heat wave on industries, on the Indian economy, how the heat wave can impact adversely the Indian economy. So we discussed about that. I hope you had understood these topics. I hope this discussion is very much helpful for you guys. Please do stay with me till the end. Trust me, by staying with me, I would definitely help you in getting to your goal. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying with me.